All right, so today we're going to talk about the two kinds of wisdom. We have the worldly wisdom, and then we have the wisdom that comes from God. In James chapter 3, verse 14 to 15, it talks about the one that's from the world. And then from 16 to 18, it talks about the wisdom that's from God. So let's start with the world first. From 14 it says, "But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, and of the devil." Okay, let's pause right there. How is this wisdom from the world? Okay, let's look at what the world teaches. The world teaches you to do things on your own, teaches you to compete against everyone and to chase worldly things like cars, chase gold, jewelry, all that stuff. But why is it called wisdom? Well, it's a false sense of wisdom because you learn how to get those things, you learn how to sell it. But what's the point if you feel empty inside? Or the other route is you constantly chase these things, but it gets you nowhere. Think about it. Oh, I want to get paid $1,000 today. You get paid $1,000, but then once you get the money, now you want more. Or let's just say you're working. Money will be my number one motivation. Big mistake. Because if that's your motivation, money stops coming. Now what? You're done. Because if money is the only thing you're going to work for, then what's the point of everything else? But the world teaches you, go get that money, right? That's how you know it's wisdom that's coming from the world. Because it's from selfish ambition. Who does it benefit? You. Does it benefit someone around you? No. Besides, I don't want to share my money. It's my money. Worldly wisdom. Alright. But what about wisdom from God? If you look at 17, it says, "But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere." So this wisdom is different. Why? Because it emphasizes purity, which means that the intention's pure. It's asking for nothing in return. Because the majority of the time when it's wisdom from the world, you do something and then you expect something in return. But when it comes from God, you do something for someone, and when you don't expect anything in return, He blesses you more. But when you expect something, that's when disappointment happens because it's not always going to happen back. And that's when you won't love your enemies, which is what Jesus teaches. That's wisdom from the Bible. It's full of mercy because for the world, it's no mercy. You wrong me, I wrong you. That's how the world works. But Jesus says we have to be good to those who wrong us. But why is that important? Because the world will teach you, oh, there's fire? Add fire. But what does it mean when I say that? What I mean by that is, okay, someone makes fun of you, make fun of them back. Easy. But what do you gain? Yeah, I might have those friends, but what happens to those friends when things are bad? Oh yeah, I don't know you, bro. That's not worth it. But what happens when you do something good instead of doing bad for bad? Add water to the fire instead of adding fire, and make more fire and possibly burn the whole place down. Well, this is spiritual wisdom that can add water to the fire and resolve the issue. So the takeaway here is to make sure that we know where we're getting our knowledge from, and to make sure it's from God. Because there's two kinds, from the devil and one from God. May the Lord bless you. Amen.